They will tell you a story about a pirate queen, a woman who took to the cold Irish Sea for freedom. Keep that picture for a moment. The water under your own deck says something colder. A ship rides up from Galway, heavy with Spanish wine. It does not flee from you. It slows. It pays. Silver crosses into your hand. Only then do you let it pass. That is not freedom. That is a toll. The captains who refuse you do not sail home at all. The freedom was the legend. To England, to Ireland, to your husbands, to your own sons, you are about to become a single thing, a price. And what does a person turn into when survival is the only law left? You are about to live it year by year. Start where the legend wants you, a wild girl on the edge of the world. Your father is a sea lord of the O'Malley clan, and the western coast of Ireland answers to his boats. Mayo, Clare Island, Clew Bay, ringed with stone towers and 300 scattered islands. You are raised on salt. You learn the tides the way other children learn their prayers, and the story files you down into something clean, a free spirit, a daughter of the waves, a woman who simply loved the sea too much for any shore to hold her. That is the warm version, the one carved onto the tourist plaques today. Every gentle word in it is about to be taken from you. The sea was never freedom, it was the family business. And the business was the water itself. Who may cross it, who pays to cross it, who drowns trying to cross it for free. You were not born to roam. You were born to collect. The stories say it began with your hair. You are a girl who wants the deck, and the men laugh at you. Your long hair will tangle in the ropes, they say. A ship is no place for a daughter. So the stories say you took a blade and cut it all off, cropped to the skull, like a boy. They stop laughing. They hand you a nickname instead. A hard little word that means shorn, bald, cut down. It follows you for the rest of your life. Picture that for what it is. A child looks at her own beauty, the one thing the world has decided is her worth, and shears it off to get what she wants. That is not a sweet tale about a tomboy. That is the first time you trade a soft thing for a hard one. You will make that trade again. With husbands, with sons. With your own pride in front of a foreign queen. The hair was only the rehearsal. Everything you are told is precious, you will learn to spend. Your father dies, and the sea does not pause for your grief. By custom, his power should pass to a son. There are sons, there are cousins, there are men who have waited their whole lives for these waters. You take them anyway, not with a speech, with galleys. You command the boats, and the men who row them. And within a few years, the question of who rules Clew Bay has one answer, and it is you. The chieftains around you do something telling. They start to fear your harbor more than they fear the open sea. Understand what that meant in this world. A woman holding a fleet was not romantic here. It was an offense, to law, to clan, to every man you passed over, and you did not soften it. You leaned your whole weight into it. The gray water that raised you is now a wall you built around yourself. Anyone who wants past it comes through you first. The word pirate is the first thing that lies to you. A pirate takes what is not his. What you run is quieter and far worse. A ship comes up the coast, Spanish wine, Galway cloth, saltfish bound for Ulster. You row out to meet it. You do not board it with swords drawn. You name a price, pay it, and you escort the ship through safely. Refuse, and your galley strip it to the boards and let the crew swim. The English had a cold name for this when they finally wrote it down. Not loot, black rent, a protection tax on the open sea. And the records are real. By 1579, around 50 ships a year were paying you for the right to fish and to pass through your bay. Sit with what that makes you. Not a rebel romancing the waves. A toll gate with a crew. You took the most open thing in the world, the sea, and you put a lock on it. Then you charged every soul who needed to breathe through it. That is the vile little engine under the legend. It hums and it never stops. So you tell yourself it is fair. They cross your water, they pay the rent. But watch what fair looks like when a captain says no. His ship gets no warning shot. Your boats come alongside in the dark. The cargo goes into your hold. The men go over the side, far enough from land that the cold finishes the argument for you. This is the other half of the deal, the half the toll exists to threaten. The silver was never really for safe passage, it was for the absence of you. The Crown's own officers learned to fold it into their accounts. They called the sea around your islands lost, not stolen, lost, as if the water itself ate their ships. That sounds like business. It is not. Business does not drown the men who decline the offer. You did not hate these sailors. That is the thing that should chill you. They were not your enemies. They were a line in a ledger. And a person who can drown a stranger over a ledger has already crossed a sea that no galley will take you back across. Step back from the killing for a moment. The sea gives you something too. The stories say you were giving birth aboard one of your own ships when it happened. A son, born on the water, between one wave and the next. Toby of the ships, they would call him. And the day after, so the story goes, corsairs swung alongside to take the vessel. Your men were losing. Below deck, hours out of labor, you heard it. The story says you climbed onto the deck anyway, half dead, and turned the fight. True or not, there is a reason this tale survived while the uglier ones were buried. People wanted a queen who rose from the birthing bed to win a battle. It is the warm, bright version of you, but even the legend cannot hide the shape of the life. Your son's first full day on Earth opened with men trying to kill everyone aboard. There was no soft world to be born into. There was only the deck, the blade, and a mother who could not afford to rest. Even the miracle is made of violence. You do not marry for love. You marry for stone. There is a castle you want, Rockfleet, on the north shore of the bay, a perfect lock on the water. It belongs to a chieftain they call Richard the Iron, so you take him as a husband. And the stories say you did it on a clever clause, a marriage of 1 year, after which either of you could simply walk away. The year passes. You are inside Rockfleet now, your men and your fleet already installed around its walls. He comes back to his own castle. He finds the doors bolted. From the wall above him, the stories say, you call down 3 words, I dismiss you. The castle is yours, the husband is outside it. Historians doubt the neat 1-year law ever really existed, but strip the legend away and the bone underneath holds. The 2 of you stayed allied and the stone stayed in your hands. Hear what a marriage was to you, not a vow, a key. You married a castle and kept the part that mattered. A person who can dismiss a husband from a wall has stopped believing anything is owed to anyone. For decades, the water was yours to rule. Then, England stopped negotiating. A new governor takes Connacht, Sir Richard Bingham. He does not see a sea lord to bargain with. He sees a problem to erase. He understands you better than the romantics ever will. He knows the toll, the fleet, the castles, the marriages that were really annexations. He knows exactly what you built. And he sets out to take it apart piece by piece. He hunts your cattle. He chokes your harbors. He hangs your allies and calls it order. The open sea that always carried you starts to feel like a closing hand. For the first time, the price you charged the world is being charged back to you with interest. You are not young now. You have outlived husbands, outlived rivals, outlived your own father's name. But Bingham is not a rival to outlast. He is the end of the whole world that made you possible. The Gaelic West, the private fleets, the law you bent for a lifetime. The tide is turning, and for once it is not turning your way. It does not come for you. It comes for your son. Your eldest, Owen, holds one of the family castles. He is not the fighter you are. When Bingham's men arrive, he chooses to be reasonable. He opens his gates. He feeds 500 soldiers. He hands over cattle to keep the peace. He trusts the deal. That is his mistake, and it is fatal. That same evening, 18 of his men are taken out and hanged. No trial, no reason that anyone bothered to write down. Then, in the dark, a false alarm runs through the camp. Owen is bound hand and foot inside a cabin. In the confusion, soldiers fall on him. The record is exact and merciless. 12 deadly wounds. You did not raise a careless man. You raised one who believed in Englishman's promise, and they cut him apart for it while he lay tied down. Feel the floor drop here. This is the toll coming home. For 30 years you taught this coast that mercy was weakness and the open hand got nothing. Now your gentlest son opened his hand to the enemy, and they filled it with 12 wounds. You go to war for him after that. Grief makes you reckless, and reckless gets you caught. Bingham takes you. He builds a gallows where you can see it and lets you understand you will die on it. You do not die on it, not yet. But the message lands. The sea cannot save you now. Your galleys cannot row you out of this one. Then he turns the last screw. He takes your other son, Tibbet, the one born on the water, and your half-brother too, and locks them away. Look at what is left of the woman who put a lock on the ocean. Every wall you built has become a cell with your own blood inside it. This is the corner Bingham wanted you in. Fight him at sea and your sons hang. Sit still and they rot in his prison. The pirate who answered to no one has exactly one move left, and it is the move you swore your whole life you would never make. You will have to leave the water entirely. You will have to go and ask. So you sail to England, an old Irish sea lord sailing into the heart of the empire that is strangling you. You are brought to Greenwich, to the court of Elizabeth, the queen who claims your whole coast as her own. 2 women in one room. One wears the crown of England. The other has been called the Queen of the Irish Sea by the very men who feared you most. The stories that grow around this meeting are glorious. That you refused to bow because you recognize no queen above you. That you spoke to her as an equal, in Latin, the only tongue you both shared. And it is tempting to stop there. The proud Irish queen, unbroken, facing down the crown. Hold that picture in your head for one more moment. Because that is the version that lets the world keep loving you. The rebel who would not kneel. What actually passed between you and Elizabeth was not defiance, it was a deal. And the terms of that deal are the last thing the legend wants you to know. You did not cross the sea to defy a queen. You crossed it to offer her something. This is what you actually offered the Queen of England, not rebellion, service. In the petition you put your name to, you asked for the freedom, for the rest of your life, to invade with sword and fire all Her Highness's enemies, wherever they might be. Read that line again, slowly. Her enemies. The enemies of the English crown, which on your own coast meant other Irish lords, your neighbors, your own kind. In exchange, she frees your sons and lets you keep your sea. This is the truth the whole legend was built to bury. The pirate queen of free Ireland offered to turn her guns on Ireland for an English queen, if the price was right. You were never fighting for a flag. You proved it in writing. Crown or coast, kin or stranger, all of it was always for sale when survival sat on the other side of the deal. This is the floor the whole story has been falling toward, not a patriot, not a rebel. A survivor who would burn anything, her own people included, to last one more year. And the deal works. Elizabeth writes to Bingham, "Your sons walk free. You sail home having sold the one thing the legend swore you never would. You go home to Rockfleet. You live out your last years on the water that made you, and you die there, around the same time as the queen you bargained with. And here, at the very end, you can finally be named. The world remembers a hero called Granuaile, the pirate queen. A woman who loved freedom so much she took to the sea. A folk hero, a feminist banner, a face on a tour boat brochure. That hero never existed. She is the soft mask laid over you after you are safely dead. The real one was you. You charged strangers to cross the open ocean and drowned the ones who refused. You married a castle and dismissed the man. You buried a murdered son, went to war, then offered the killer's own queen your sword against your own people to buy your surviving sons back. Not for Ireland, not for freedom, for survival. Always, only for survival. So here's the question the legend was built to keep you from asking. When everything you love becomes something you will sell to last one more winter, were you ever free at all? Or only the most honest prisoner on the sea?